Okay, guys, this is the last scene of Act 2, where we left off. Remember, the nurse has just given Juliet the information about how she needed to go. Part of the plan is go to say you're going to confession, and then Romeo will be there. And so we're starting scene 6, literally with Friar Lawrence's cell. So Romeo is already there. And so Friar Lawrence, so smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not. So remember, marriage is, a sacrament. It's basically a religious kind of ceremony. And so he's hoping this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not. And basically think about the idea of foreshadowing. He's hoping that this doesn't turn bad later, which is literally we know it's going to be, and so we have a little foreshadowing from Friar Lawrence. Romeo, amen, amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy. So think about, guys, he is on cloud 9 right now, and so he is very, very happy. It can't mess up my joy, and so we see he's kind of tunnel vision. So remember, on page 331, we're about to flip to 332. Okay, so page 332. That one short minute give me inner sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words. Then love devouring death, do what he dared. Is enough, I may be call her mine. So think about literally love devouring death, do what he dare. So remember we talked a lot about personification. So the idea of death being personified here. And think about a lot of this idea is about fate. And so we've seen him before, like whatever may be, may be. And so this idea of it is enough that I may but call her mine. So this idea of in even 1 minute is worth. And so the idea of worthy or worth it in a way. And so Friar Lawrence, these violent delights have violent ends. Think about repetition. Violent delights have violent ends. So think about we have something happy and some kind of result. And in their triumph die like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in its own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. So think about the sweetest honey, something super sweet. That should be good, but because, think about loathsome. To loathe something is the idea of like hating it and kind of very negative. And so it's so super sweet. It's so delicious that it confuses the appetite. And so think about this idea of extreme. Okay, everything Romeo says is extreme and positive and super great. And so Friar Lawrence, remember, he's not all about extremes. He's very kind of even keel. And so he's kind of talking about Romeo. Shakespeare's kind of addressing and through Friar is focusing on Romeo's extremeness. And then literally, when our vocab words, I want you to star these 2 lines. Therefore, love moderately. Whenever vocab words, long love doth so, too swift arrives, as tardy as too slow. So to kind of go as fast, same as going too slow. So remember the idea of slow and steady. This is the second time that Friar Lawrence has kind of tried to remember. He's kind of giving some advice. He's trying to tell him, like, look, let's calm it down. And throughout the play, we've seen, for the most part, Romeo usually doesn't follow it. So let's see if he does. So let's watch that little portion for right now.
So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen. Amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that 1 short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death, do what he dare. it is enough I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die, like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore love moderately. Long love doth so, too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Here comes the lady. Oh, so light of foot will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamer that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall, so light is vanity.
Good even to my ghostly confessor.
Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both.
Okay, so we see, and we just watched this portion before going over it. So Juliet just kind of enters back, and so we see Friar Lawrence making that comment. Here comes a lady, oh, so light of foot, will never wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamer, the idols in the wanton summer air, yet fall no light is so light is vanity. So think about talking about their kind of level of love. And once again, this idea of extremeness, okay? Good even to my ghostly confessor. Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both, as much to him else thanks too much. Now, remember earlier, Friar Lawrence said, go moderately, go calm, slow and steady. You know, like if something's too sweet, it's kind of too much. And then Romeo, literally the minute he sees Juliet, Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thee skill be more to blazon it than sweeten with thy breath, the neighbor air and let rich music's tongue unfold imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter. So think about if the measure of that joy be heaped like mine. So the idea of same level of happiness. Okay, if your level of happiness is the same as mine, and your skill to communicate is better than mine, and so use your rich music's tongue and unfold unimagined happiness. So think about in your brain kind of imagining something, really the idea of future kind of dreams. That both receive in either by this and dear encounter. So we see Romeo was told to kind of cool it, kind of keep it, moderate. And then already he's like, tell me all the things that's going to happen to us in the future and all the great, amazing, so everything is once again extreme positive. Everything is extreme kind of positive kind of level. Juliet, conceit more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up some of half of my wealth. So think about the idea of excess. And it's so big, so like basically huge amount. I cannot sum up some of half of my wealth. So think about this idea to summarize, to basically communicate. So think about the idea of being overwhelmed. And so we see Friar has given Romeo advice and really just general advice to teenagers. And we start seeing both Romeo and Juliet don't live in that world. They don't live in the sense of moderate and kind of, slow and steady. They're just already going, to the major extreme part. So then Friar Lawrence, come with me, and we will make short work. For by your leave you shall not stay alone, till Holy Church incorporate two in one. And so incorporate two in one, literally this idea of a marriage. So think about, and Shakespeare chooses to basically have no actual marriage scene. So no actual marriage scene. So when we start Act 3, we have to basically assume they've already gotten married, pretty much off the stage in a way. And so that's didn't actually make the actual version. Okay, so let's watch that.
Much to him, else is his thanks too much.
Ah, Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbor air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter.
Conceit, more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up sum of half my wealth.
Come with me, and we will make short work. For by your leaves, ye shall not stay alone, till Holy Church incorporate 2 in 1.
Okay, so that is the end of our act, and so we end our act with Romeo and Juliet actually married. Make sure you're took all the notes and that you're answering all the questions that follow.